Cook oats with water or milk and top with sliced bananas, strawberries, or a handful of blueberries. Add a sprinkle of nuts or seeds for extra crunch and nutritional value. Consider drizzling a touch of honey or maple syrup for natural sweetness. Number 5. Egg muffins. Whip up a quick and convenient breakfast with egg muffins. Simply whisk eggs and pour them into muffin tins. Add diced vegetables, cheese, and herbs of your choice. Bake until the eggs are set, creating easy-to-grab and portable egg muffins. This versatile recipe allows you to customize flavors by adding ingredients like spinach, tomatoes, or cooked bacon. Number 6. Chia pudding. Indulge in a nutritious and simple chia pudding. Combine chia seeds with almond milk or Greek yogurt and let the mixture sit in the refrigerator overnight. This allows the chia seeds to absorb the liquid and create a pudding-like consistency. In the morning, top it with fresh fruits, nuts, or coconut flakes for added flavor and texture. Number 7. Whole grain toast with nut butter. Simply spread almond butter, peanut butter, or your favorite nut butter on a slice of whole grain toast. The combination of whole grains and healthy fats provides a balanced source of energy. For an extra touch, add banana slices or a sprinkle of chia seeds. Number 8. Cottage cheese bowl. For a quick and nutritious cottage cheese bowl, start with a cup of cottage cheese and add fresh pineapple chunks for sweetness. Sprinkle 2 tablespoons of sliced almonds for a satisfying crunch and healthy fats. If you desire sweetness, drizzle a bit of honey or maple syrup. Gently mix the ingredients in the bowl and, for a refreshing touch, garnish with fresh mint leaves. Number 9. Breakfast burrito. For a quick and hearty breakfast burrito, sauté diced onions and bell peppers until tender, then add black beans and scramble eggs in the same pan until fully cooked. Warm a whole grain tortilla and spoon the egg mixture onto the center, topping it with shredded cheese. Fold in the sides and roll it up into a burrito shape. Optionally, toast the assembled burrito for a crispy texture. Top with salsa or hot sauce and fresh cilantro for added flavor. Number 10. Fruit salad. Prepare a refreshing fruit salad by combining a variety of fresh fruits such as melons, berries, grapes, and citrus fruits. UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Well, we are still here. This is Good Morning Uganda, and thank you so much for doing this with us this morning. My name is Olive Monica Najuma. Now, it is said that changing the future for children means giving them opportunities as they grow. And speaking of the same, we've also had, earlier on, we had a conversation where a report by Twaweza indicated that 68% of Ugandans are exceedingly finding it hard to earn a living. And among the issues that they raised was a lack of the necessary skill set for them to earn a living. And also against the background of many universities churning out many students, yet the students do not have jobs. How do we move forward in terms of accelerating growth among the youth and also creating employment? Therefore, we have a conversation regarding skills development, buying Uganda and building Uganda through skills development of our children. Now I'll be having this conversation with Catherine Batio from Cosmis. Catherine is also the skills development officer at Cosmis. She can tell us more about herself. First of all, I'm glad to have you here. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay. Today I'm the happiest person because we're talking about something that touches the nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're very right, because when it comes to the nation, in Uganda, you're Uganda?
No, I'm not in Uganda, but at least I know
But
Uganda.
we have we have a saying that says "Emitie mito jejigumiza ekibira." Simply
That's true.
put, it's those young trees that make a forest strong. So when we talk about skills development of our children, first of all, I would like for you, before we get into the conversation, to tell us about Cosmis and what exactly it is that you do.
Okay, thank you so much. Good morning, Uganda. My name is Catherine Batio. I work for Cosmis. Cosmis is an abbreviation of a very long word. It's a capacity building organization for small and medium enterprises and skill support. We do skills development at community level, but also we do at schools, because we realize that the children of this nation, if they are properly skilled, if they are properly empowered, that is when we shall be able to answer many of these questions that are lacking behind our minds. The people who are not engaged, the youth who are not busy, the economy that is not having youth who are not working, I think we can basically address this issue through skilling. Cosmis being a national organization, we are an organization that does skills development, but we're also a women-led organization. That's the beauty about it. As a mother, I feel for my country. As a mother, I feel for my children, because my question is, what is the future of my children if we do not have the right skills? So as a Ugandan mother, it is high time today, together with Cosmis, let's join hands and skill the nation.
And skill the nation. Yeah. This is the gospel for this morning, and I am saying amen to that, because that's what we need as a country. But now, Batio, when we talk about this concept, I would like for us to really understand the concept of buying and building Uganda through skills development in schools. So what does it mean, and how does it relate to the concept of skilling children, and also how does investing in the skills of young people contribute to Uganda's economic growth?
The word bubu, building Uganda, or buying Uganda, building Uganda, is a very big word. The very first time I heard this word from the president of our country, and I followed all the things that went through, and I was like, okay, if we are to buy Uganda and build Uganda, how do we do it? How do we buy Uganda? Looking at the different sectors, looking at the different opportunities, if I'm to ask, what do we have to buy in Uganda? What can someone from the other part of the world buy from Uganda? What are Ugandans able to buy? For me, that was the first question I asked when I had the boo-boo. Then I was like, okay, let's look at the industry, the informal sector, the people in the business. What are we able to buy locally? If we look at the traders who go to China, for example, the things that we buy, like the weaves, just basic, what we have on our heads.
Synthetic hair.
Synthetic hair.
Yes.
Where are we buying them from? But can't we make them as Ugandans? If we look at, I did a little research to know what do they use, for instance, for making this. There was a report I read, and I saw Chinese using the fiber, the banana fiber, for instance, to make this.
And we have banana plantations here.
You're called Najuma.
Yes.
You come from a banana republic.
Yes.
We have a lot, but the issue is, why are we not able to produce it? Why are we not able to use the skills?
Yes.
Then the question came on, do we have the rightful skill set to do what we're supposed to produce locally? So for me to say that we are to build and buy Uganda, we have to start by doing things that can help us to produce what we can buy. Let's look at the industries, the manufacturing sector. The current factories in Uganda, who are the owners? Not Ugandans. But because we don't have the skill set. So Ugandans, let's go back, build our country, build the skill sets, and then we start buying the Uganda we want today. If we can, for instance, say, from the people who are into this sector of synthetic industry, let's start producing our own products. Let's skill the child. Let's skill the youth. Let's skill the economy, that people should be able to have the rightful knowledge on how to produce, have an innovation on how to take it to another level. So that we also have Chinese coming to Uganda and buying the Uganda we want. Buying our own produce. Yes, we know our agricultural background, but still the question is, even in the agricultural sector, what are people buying from us? What is that thing that the world can sell and stand very proud and say, this is what we can buy from Uganda globally? So for me, my question today is, if we are to answer the question of buying, what do we need to do to be able to buy the Uganda we need?
Okay, and there it brings me to another question, Catherine. Buying Uganda, you know, and I know that we are some of the producers of the world's biggest raw materials, and here I mean coffee.
Yes.
We have cotton, we have vanilla, to mention but a few.
Yes.
But so as Ugandans, for us to sell something on the international market, do we need to first add value to it? Do we need to export raw materials? What of those two puts us into a competitive position?
Well, as we've said, for us to be competitive, first of all, what is that product that you're selling?
Yes.
Who else is in the market that's competing with you in that product? And then do you have the knowledge on how to build that same product that you have, that someone can say, if it is, for instance, Nescafe, and our local, let's say the modern coffee, our local product, can somebody in the market stand and say, I am taking the modern coffee from Uganda? But it comes a long way. You must have the skill sets on how to market this, how to brand it, how to do quality production, and it's a really, really long process that someone must be able to know that for my product to compete, let's say the coffee, for it to be able to compete globally, you must have the standards. And for you to have the standard, you must know what it takes.
Yes.
You must have the capacity and that ability to know that the brand, the product that I'm taking into the market is a world-selling product. Just like the way I take Nescafe and feel good, I'd also want to take the Ugandan coffee and know that this is a product that the market needs.
All right, I'm having a conversation with Catherine Batio from Cosmis, and we are speaking buying and building Uganda through skills development of the children. How do we promote this? By skilling our children. And Catherine, this is where I would like for you to unpack and tell us more about what Cosmis does with the children. Is it in schools? Is it in markets? Where exactly do you do this from? And I just want to have a proper understanding of the entire initiative.
Well, if you answer the question, where are the children?
Yes.
Of course, majority of our children in schools.
Okay.
Either primary schools, secondary schools, the tertiary, the university, they're there. So if we want to get them from outside schools, then we're going to promote school dropouts. So we would want to get them from schools. As Cosmis, we find these children in schools, the primary schools, the secondary. Right now what we are trying to do is that we are grateful to the government that the new curriculum actually has unpacked an opportunity for scaling. It's talking about competence-based, innovation, research,
Problem solving.
Problem solving.
Yes.
Very good. So all those. So now the question is, if you're going to innovate, what are you going to innovate without a skill? If you're going to research, what are you researching on without a skill? So for us, we're saying let's work together with the formal sector, this education system, and what we've done is to incorporate schools. We have a number of schools that we've gone into, and they're saying, look here, let's integrate. You have the other subjects, physics, mathematics, chemistry, and the rest of the subjects. Also give us time onto the timetable to do a skill. At least each child should have an opportunity to have a skill. And we are grateful to a number of schools that have accepted the program, that we're able to say every day, every week, once in a week, a child should have an opportunity, for instance, to do horticulture practice. A child should be able to know how to do, let's say, rabbit rearing and poultry. A child should be able to know how to do bakery and pastry. A child should be able to know how to do electronics installation and maintenance, and several of these other skill sets. Why do we do that? You cannot make a tree go straight when it is already bent at the younger stage. So we want this child to start being engaged from level 1, senior 1. That as you enter as you enter secondary education life, as you start knowing that, oh, I'm entering maturity, you also have something that you're walking along with. Get a skill. Know that this world is not all about staying and sleeping. And the beauty, we've already realized that the children we are working with, they've testified that, you see, madam, I've, for instance, learned how to do cosmetology. During my holidays, I've made 500,000.
Through makeup?
Yes.
Being a makeup artist?
Makeup artists, people know they have events. Others are producing liquid soap. They're able to do several products.
Yes.
So that's the beauty, that if a child knows that they have to first of all work, the question is, do we work? Most of our generations today, if you see, children are used to sleeping because when they are home for holidays, watching TV.
Now, Catherine, I would like to know, this skilling, is it happening in only secondary schools or even primary school pupils are catered to?
Yeah, actually, there are a few primary schools that have come on, but also because we want to do a pilot that the government can buy from, that we have to start with secondary schools.
Because of the new competence-based curriculum.
Exactly.
Okay.
But also we are implementing a module that is already set up, because DIT has set up a module that is level 1. So what we did was to pick up the modules, see how to implement it. But also the bigger part of this skilling was, if you remember 3 years ago, government had come up with a concept that all schools should have skilling program. But of course, there were also challenges along the way because schools had no capacity. Most of the schools had challenges in technical capacity. There were issues of equipment and adaptation. Of course, the new curriculum had just come in, so it was a bit a challenge. So when we saw that, said, okay, how do we help our government to come on board and fix the gaps?
So which, do you mind sharing the schools that have embraced the initiative?
Yes, I'll proudly do that. We have private schools, we have government-used schools, and we also have seed schools. Interestingly,
yes.
We have a seed school in Yumbe, which is the farthest, one of the farthest, but also it has the highest dropout levels. So we were really very impressed that the school was able to pick up, that is K-Seed Secondary School. They have about 5 skill sets that they're running currently. We have Sam Iga Memorial, which is just in Kampala here. It is a youth school. We have St. Julian High School, that is in Gayaza. We have St. Michael, Sonde. Yes, we have Faith High, several.
When you say youth school, what exactly do you mean? I want to make sure my viewer and even myself have a pretty good understanding because this seems like a very beautiful initiative. Skilling is very important because before you even answer what youth school means, I'll give you an example. When I sat senior 6, which is a couple of years ago, many of us that were not in very high-end schools, we did not have computer laboratories in our schools.
True.
So you get out of high school, you're looking for a job as you wait for your results to come back and join campus, but you can't even use a computer.
True.
You get. True. So, and also the other thing is that after senior 6, many people cannot work. Ideally, senior 6, in my opinion, should be a diploma.
Yes.
And it should enable you to go and work. But there are no skills. Now, that being said, I believe this is a beautiful initiative. But what is a youth school?
A youth school is a university, a universal secondary education that is just like UPE.
Okay.
So it is the version of UPE, but in secondary education.
So you meant USE?
Yes.
Okay. That's where the confusion came from.
It is a USE.
Okay.
Of course, most people don't call it use because it's a use in abbreviation, but it's a USE. And those are government programs, schools that are supposed to help people in need. And we're grateful for that program because we have children who are really from very, very, very humble background, but because of those programs, are able to pick up. Myself, I'm a product of UPE.
Okay.
UPE products. And I'm grateful that the government was able to give me an opportunity. And to be where I am today, it's because of that background. And getting back to skilling, after I finished my primary, my secondary, I had skills. My mom taught me how to do bakery, how to do cookery, and I raised money to pay myself and my siblings out of these skills. Yes. Wow. And I took care of them at a younger age, but because I had a skill. Actually, I asked myself, if I never had a skill, where would I be?
I know, right? Well, we are having a very interesting conversation regarding buying and building Uganda through skills training of our children. I believe that you will agree with me that lack of skill set is the reason why we have a high number of university graduates that are not employed. Why? Because all of us have been looking, trained and convinced that we need to look for jobs. But look at Uganda, where children have a skill set, that they are given skills right in high school, that even as they are going through university, they can actually do something and earn some money. Maybe that will contribute to their pocket money or even their tuition. So it's really important for us as a country to embrace something of this nature. I believe this is the way to go. I mean, America has Silicon Valley, where people are developing applications, they are developing gadgets and all these programs that we are using on our smartphones. But also when you go to countries like China that are so progressive when it comes to industrialization, you're going to find the things they do in their schools, the programs that children are going through, are programs that have placed China to where it is today. So join the conversation, share your views through WhatsApp number 0709 602 592. You can also use that number to call directly, not through WhatsApp calls, but call directly, and would love to hear from you. You can also send a direct message through SMS. I'll be able to share your views and questions to Catherine Batio. Now, okay, Catherine,
maybe to do some bit of analysis. If you see our children, these ones who are going to do Kadam, the several guys who go to
the girls who go for domestic working.
Yes, outside.
Yes.
And if all those girls who went had skills, I'm telling you, they'll never be the same. Because if they went out there and they had a document that proves that actually they have a skill set. Because I have several of the people I've met and said, you know, I went out, I applied for a job, and I was asked, what skills do you have? And she couldn't prove the skills she had. So for us also, a question back to our government is that as we skill these people, let's promote the documentation. It's very good that we have the Directorate of Industrial Training. Let it back up the skilling, the documentation.
So that aspect. You don't just speak that I can do hair.
Yes.
Show
it.
I know a Ugandan hairdresser, she has a very successful, actually, I've seen her doing hair for even some very prominent people in this country. Yeah. And because she was trained and had documentation regarding the same, guess what? She's now running a program for the Canadian government when it comes to hair. So I hear you when you say there should be documentation.
So, true. And I think every child, at least before they complete their senior 4, they should have some evidence that you're skilled. But I also think, given that DIT, or the Directorate of Industrial Training, is a quality assurance department that examines and assesses the skills competence, I would really recommend that this department should move further and promote our children. Get to the schools, give us opportunity. Give us an opportunity for the children to be certified, so that I can know that my child I've trained in, let's say, computer repair and maintenance, electronics devices, come and assess this child. And also to tell us the quality of work we are doing, we're performing on ground. So that if my child goes to China or wherever the country they've gone to, they are able to be defended by the document. But also for a child who has dropped out, I'm just looking at perspective of a child who's maybe conceived, or because of school fees matters, and many more several other matters, they're not able to maybe move further. You have evidence to show that, yes, I don't have a UCE certificate, but at least I have a skill that I can work in an industry. Secondly, in terms of checks and balances, if you go to the Western countries, there is a lot of arrangement that if people, let's say carpenters who are certified by the government, they have an association that if I call the carpenter to come and work in my place, I trust this carpenter because I know that this carpenter is, one, is a certified carpenter, but also 2, is professional. Just like though we have accountants who are under the CPA, they know that if I protect my profession, because I'm certified accountant, I'll have to be professional. So if our children are certified and the government through the different directorates are able to monitor and say, okay, if you're not professionally implementing the skills you have, then we shall revoke your certificate. So that people attach value to some of these certificates, but also they attach value to the skill sets that are out there. That I've gone to Katwa, brought you my car, for instance. You've worked on this car, and you spoiled, actually, instead of working on the car, you spoiled the car. Or it was just a very simple thing to fix. You've exaggerated the cost that it is now 3 million or 4 million.
Yes.
So because of that certification and control system, I think we will be somewhere as Uganda. So my pledge to the government, to our people, is to ensure that the different skill sets that we are giving out. Yes, I know the presidential initiatives, they're already doing DIT, which is very good. But then what about our children before they become school dropouts?
Wow, you can join the conversation once again through WhatsApp number 0709 602 592. You can also call us directly through the same number. I would like to hear your views or even questions thereof to Catherine Batio. And Catherine, I'll share a few of the views that have come through. The first one is from Phillips from Karamoja, and he says many are skilled but are staying redundant, especially in rural areas. Most work needs power, which is electricity. For example, balloons, fabrication, electricians, wood and furniture technology all need power, that is hydroelectric power, which has not been extended to some rural areas. What do you say about this? Advocate for government to complete rural electrification. Otherwise skilling will come to a halt. Hello, how are you? Hello, how are you?
I'm fine.
Who are we speaking to?
You are speaking to Songa Godfrey from Kibuli.
Yes, Godfrey. What's your view on the topic of discussion?
Allow me to use Uganda to explain my issue.
Please go right ahead.
Okay. Webala okukyaza oyo omukyala.
Yes, sir.
Kati obuzibu abasinga bwe tufunye mu skilling sometimes bwako na gavumenti kuba twagenda ne tusoma obulungi nnyo ne tufuna amagezi agakola n'okukola emirimu gyaffe ngaffe. Kati ngaffe twayiga okukanika era tukanika bukanisi kyokka naye tukola. We made our own things, Uganda made, like a radio, woofers and other electrical components.
Yes.
Twetekamu sente ne tukola ekyo naye.
Oh, we lost Godfrey, and he was making a pertinent comment there, because he said they were trained, but he was getting to the point, because I think there was a but there, and maybe let's relate that to what Philip said when he said many are skilled but they don't have, let's say, resources like hydroelectricity. What would you say about that?
You know, skilling or skills do not move alone.
Yes.
It's just like the way you know how to cook. If you're a cook and you don't look for where the saucepans are, where to get the food from, it makes your cooking skill a little irrelevant. So, of course, as he's mentioned, there are pertinent issues, for instance, power. And power might be beyond just an individual, a person. Let's say if it's from Karamoja, for instance, it might be something that one person can't address, but a community can address through advocacy, through putting up their priority lists. Because when people give out the list of things that they want from government to support, and they don't advocate for, then your government is like a father who has so many children.
That's right.
And if you have 10 children and each child is, the other one is asking for chapati, the other one is asking for this, the other one is asking. So if you don't prioritize your needs, it becomes a challenge. However, we always say, how do you work with what you have? What are those opportunities that you have locally to start with? I always say you might not be able to solve a very big problem now. Get a quicker solution. Let's say, for instance, if we can look at generators, maybe the use of generators, as we wait for our government, as we advocate through our leadership, as we advocate through our MPs that we've already put on floor to come and represent us and advocate for power, for instance, to be taken to our regions. But don't go and sit down and say because we don't have power, let's wait for government to come and give us power in the next 3 years. Then that's when I'll start working. But at least you can start something. Use solar system, make a group. Today we have the PDM fund that's already in the community. We have the banks. Can't you organize yourself and maybe look at getting finances to boost such innovations? We have funds that are under UDB, for instance. I've known personally, I've ever applied for that. That gives support to manufacturing industry. So the issue is, do you know the opportunities around you that you can tap on and build on what you have? Secondly, from the aspect of challenges, most people, when they go to do skilling, it is a business. If I got skill, like for us, our skills we provide, we don't just provide plain skills. Like say we've trained you carpentry. We teach you the dynamics, the SME dynamics.
Like how to run a business, how to do your books.
Yes. Okay. How to look for money, how to look for customers.
Marketing.
The marketing. Because if I had a skill, like I knew how to plait hair, and I go back and sleep in the house, it's like I have nothing.
Have bad attitude.
True.
It doesn't matter how good you are.
Yes. You have your own attitude, you're lazy. You know, there are so many attributes that contribute to one being able to really get out the skill and the profitability out of the skill.
Now, Catherine, I have more comments coming through, but before I share them, I want, because we've talked about lots of things regarding skilling, but as Cosmos, do you provide all these skills or you have specific ones that you give away? But before you do that, we have a caller on the line. Good morning. Hello? Hello? Please step away from your TV. We have lost that caller. Please, when you're calling, step away from your TV because we can't hear you this side if you're near your TV, or you can just put the volume down. I know you'd like to hear yourself. Unfortunately, when you do that, we can't hear you here. I think we have someone else. Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please. Good morning. Who are we speaking to? Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, who are we speaking to this morning?
I'm speaking to Ugola Fadil Hussein from Yombe.
Yes, please.
Yeah. In fact, I have one of the beneficiaries from Kate.
Oh dear. You got that?
Yes. He was one of the beneficiaries from K-Seed. K-Seed is one of the seed schools we are training in Yombe. Wow, I wish you can call again. We really want to hear.
Yes,
that.
Because he said he's a beneficiary.
Yeah.
Yes, now I had asked you a question before. Let's delve into that and then I'll share some more views coming through.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about you must have competence beyond just a skill. I can give my personal experience. When I had my skills in bakery, in cookery, and I needed school fees. And I didn't have capital.
Yes.
So the question was, how do I start making money? I looked at my environment. I'm a Catholic. I went to a parish priest. They had a function, and I spoke to his father. I can cook. And he looked at me. That time I was a very small guy. He looked at me and said, what can you cook? I said, no, I know you have a function coming up, but I can cook. I can bake. Please give me a chance to prepare for the church. Then he asked me, do you have utensils? I told him, Father, I don't have, but I can get away. So I went back and spoke to one of the ladies. She's a Mchale engineer. She actually called her Mchale engineer. She does outside catering. And I knew that during weekends, she doesn't like Sandy's, her equipments are free. So I went and spoke to her, said, can we do it? Can we make a deal? I have a client, you have equipment. Please hire me your equipment, but I only always pay after. And she told me, oh, this is a good idea. So which days? I told her Sundays. She told me, okay, Sundays actually I have no mukolo. Come. So then I went to my LC1, he's called Mr. Buama, and asked him, sir, I have a contract at the church, but I don't have enough money. Then he told me, you know, you're a very good girl in this community. How do you want me to help you? I told him I wanted a loan of 1 million. He took me to Cheba and Osako. He held my hands, and we went with him. He seconded me. They gave me 1 million shilling. I went to Kalere Market, bought my fat items, matoke, everything. Went back to Mchalaje because I didn't have enough workers, and asked her, can you give me a few workers from your team? I'll pay them. And she told me, give me 150,000.
Thinking of you.
Then I prepared my first meal at the church. And because there is quality, because I knew what I was doing, I got 3 functions.
From that one function. And you were able to pay back the loan?
I paid back the loan. I started now working. Actually, up to today, that lady works with me. I had to start giving her money whenever I get, and that's how I started.
Interesting.
And I was able to raise money that started buying my equipment slowly. Bought in a few things. I was able to rent where my young ones were staying. I was able to pay school fees.
Employed
my, yes. So that is, you must be innovative, because most times if you're to wait and say that, let Monique help me, it will really not be possible, because any investor would want to see your capability first.
I've seen businessmen saying, don't wait to have capital to start a business.
True.
And many people, when they hear this, they're normally like, what does he exactly mean? But I remember in COVID-19, online trading opened up even much more in Uganda, and there are people who would sell, let's say, shoes online, but they don't have a store. True. And they don't even have capital, so they would work with people that have the stock to get the product to the end user, and then they would make some money, and later on they were able to buy their own stock. So I can relate that to what you are saying.
We have a child at St. Julian. He's in senior 2. He's a cosmetology student. Recently, he surprised us. He told me, Madam, I have 500,000 of my own I made during the holidays. I was like, what? How? Then he told me, no, actually, I know how to make about 5 products. So I went back and spoke to a school and made for them. I asked 50,000 from my father. He gave me, went and bought the materials and made the first supply. Then I went to a church, and now I supply them every holiday. They gave me a deal. I supply them liquid soap, Harpic, the toilet detergent, and the rest of that every holiday. So really unassured.
Now, Catherine, that's interesting. And are these some of your students and the products that they have made?
Yes. So those are students from St. Julian High School. You can see the several products. That's a cosmetology class. I'm
seeing them with a toilet bleach.
Yes.
Interesting.
There are several. You can see there are several bleach. There's shower gel, several. You can just the way you say, the shampoo,
liquid
soap, several products. Just imagine your child knowing how to do about 12 to 15 products.
And now with the candidates in their vacation, senior 4 have already finished, P7 have already finished. I see girls making wigs.
True.
Wow, interesting. Now, more views coming through. Hello, Claire from Kachira SS in Ginger. I would like my school to get some of those skills. You tell us how you can guide them. And then, thank you, Batio. Skilling is the way to go. There is a saying that better give someone a net to catch the fish rather than giving them the fish. And this is from Olga Lindrio. Thank you, Olga. There is one from Ruben P. Machibirango, and he says, thanks for the guest. We would love to know your plans regarding other regional schools. This is very important. And the last one is, thank you very much, educative show. My name is Brayton. The challenge that most affects the young people is the mindset, a negative attitude towards the skills. Let's deal with the mindset and we will be able to achieve all. Now, Molly says, first skills comes from home. Children are supposed to be trained by their parents from childhood. Children should know house chores, both boys and girls. That is when the children or youth are skilled and are able to perform. Otherwise, if these children are not trained at home, they will not get the skills because they will be lazy. They will sit with the skills and gain nothing. Catherine, as we wind up in your parting shots, there are two pertinent questions. There is one about your plans for other regional schools, and two, the one from Kachira SS, who is asking how can their school be joined. And I believe that as we watch right now, there are parents, there are school heads that are wondering how Cosmis can come to their school so that they do this skilling for the children.
Yeah, true. Thank you so much for your interest in working with us. Yes, this is a nationwide we have already targeted to reach to several parts of the country. That's why we started in Kampala, then went to Mukono, then Yumbe, then actually in Arua. We're also getting to Arua. We have some schools in Kamwenge that are coming up next year, and several. So for those schools that are interested in working with us, we can give you our numbers maybe later.
You can share the number right now. Okay,
you can call us on 0774 220080. I repeat, 0774 220080. You can call us on those numbers so that we can discuss. But how we work with the schools, we have social media handle where you can get to either our Twitter or our TikTok and the rest. Just look at Cosmis Uganda, be able to get direct to us. For the schools, it's a process. Okay. Because we get engaged with the school administration. We support the schools to speak to the parents of the children to understand the importance of this program. And that's when we now get into partnership and establish whatever skill set, depending on the location, depending on the market viability.
Someone is asking about marine skilling centers, and he says most of them are outside the country, yet we have lakes and rivers. As you close, that is the last one. What do you say about that?
Well, that's a challenge to us. I think we also need to, because we have a lot of just the way it's mentioned.
Lakes and rivers.
Yeah, it's a challenge. We will look into that and see how best to bring that on board. But of course, for now, we're looking at outside those skill sets. We will see how to together with you and together with the several actors in the market, we shall reach to that point. But let's first start swimming, because you can't go deep. You have to start entering the water.
And many Ugandan can't swim to save their lives. Well, Catherine, thank you so much. I've really enjoyed this conversation. First, because I believe skilling is where the country is going. There is no development without skill sets. True. We cannot get there. So thank you so much for doing this with us. And I do hope we can actually have this conversation again, because I believe there is more to unpack.
Yeah, true.
Well, thank you so much, my dear viewer, for being a part of this conversation. All your views have been shared. Those that have not been able to share, we have seen them, and we can keep this conversation going on our handle. The hashtag is UBCGMU. For now, we'll take a short break, and right after, Ruben Pima will be coming up to share sports updates. So keep it locked.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Juko. Yo. Hawachiko.